It is quite understandable, the reaction of the Jews to this shocking new doctrine of Jesus, that all foods are clean. There's been times in Jewish history when foreign powers have invaded and taken the people into exile and done all they can to wipe out the Jewish religion, and part of that process was to force them to eat, for example, swine, pork, which is something which is forbidden for Jews to eat according to the law. And many of them actually died for refusing to succumb and eat pork. We can remember the 7 children of the lady in which the book of Maccabees tells of, who the Syrian king Antiochus Epiphanes tried to force upon them to eat pork, and if they would do, they would save their lives, and they refused, and each one by one was tortured and put to death. And so this was the case for many of the Jews at that time. For simply refusing to eat pork, they went to their death, considered martyrs, for wanting to be faithful rather to the law. Faith, and that would equal being faithful to God. So now Jesus is coming and saying, all foods are clean. So that's kind of shocking to the Jewish sensibility. But it is the truth of the matter. What actually enters into the man from outside and just passes naturally through him and is not responsible for making man sin. What is responsible of making men sin is that what comes from within, from our intentions, that is from our heart, of which we are responsible for our actions, from our liberty. And if there are things in our actions that seem to be out of our control, then that's something that has got there through vice, through lack of self-control, and then which needs to be identified and worked upon, mortified, so as to gain control if it is that there is something that is out of our control in our actions. There are people who say, and it even could come into the confessional, and this person said this, and it made me do that, and it made me respond in this way. That person who is like this, because of them, I do this, and I do that, I act in this way, because of that person. That's rubbish, absolutely rubbish. The reason why you act like this, not because of the person, even that person might be wrong in whatever thing they may say or do, or fail to do. It is you who is responsible for your actions. And that person, in all their failures and even sinfulness, is just an occasion for you to see just how poor you are, how lacking you are in virtue. So don't blame the person, look at yourself, confess your own failings, your own lack of virtue, your own lack of trust, your own lack of patience, your own lack of compassion, your own lack of whatever it is. Don't be putting the blame on the other person, saying they made you do this and act in this way. No. Just cut to the core and confess your own failings. So what we can pray for now in this Mass then is that to be ever more aware of our own failings, take responsibility for our own failings, and to grow in virtue, to overcome the vices that Jesus gives a list of here in today's Gospel, by truly striving to be better people by the help of God's grace. Amen.